These Etsy guru lies are why you're not getting any sales. You're doing everything that you're told to do by the experts, but the orders are still not coming. And it's not your fault. A lot of the popular advice out there is outdated, oversimplified, missing key details that actually moves your shop in the right direction. In today's video, I am calling out 5 common Etsy guru lies that keep new shop owners stuck on a never-ending hamster wheel, posting more listings, tweaking their SEO, and hoping for the best. And I've got one powerful truth that can finally shift things in your favor. Hey everyone, and welcome back. If you're new here, hi, I'm Danya, and on my channel and in my online community, the Done For You Digital Niche Club, I teach everything I've learned and continue to learn on my Etsy journey to help you blow up your shop like I did with both my digital and my print on demand shops. Without any further ado, let's get into it. Lie number 1, if you're not getting orders, it is Etsy's fault. This one drives me crazy because it creates a victim mindset and it'll convince you to keep doing the same things while blaming the platform. But Etsy is not broken, and it's usually a traffic problem, not an algorithm problem. Let's be completely real here. If you looked at your shop like an actual customer, would you buy anything? Would you click? Are the mock-ups scroll stopping? Does your shop look polished, or does it look thrown together? Etsy's job is to push what will convert, and your job is to make it worth clicking. So if your listings look unfinished, you can't blame the platform. You do want to ask yourself, are you open for business, or does it look like you're still setting up your shop? So a few things you want to make sure you have in your shop would be a banner, a logo, a shop photo, a shop announcement, and you want to have your shop categories clearly laid out to your customer. Lie number 2, Etsy ads will revive a dead listing. Now, I get it. It is really tempting, but if nobody wants that item, then you're essentially lighting your money on fire. And I do want to make it clear that I do use ads, but they are not a magic button. You don't just turn them on, walk away, and come back to your shop with 1,000 orders. You've got to be able to be willing to watch what is using your ad budget, what's working, what's not working, and you have to make adjustments constantly. Running ads, to me, the way I look at it like gambling. If you're wondering when to start, I'd recommend that you want to wait until a listing has already proven it can sell. So you want to turn it on at that point. You want to begin small, and you want to grow your ads intentionally. Treat it like an amplifier, not a rescue mission. Another way that I do it in my shop is I do run ads on everything, but it took me a bit of experience to get there. So even though I think ads are gambling, in my own opinion, the safer bet would be to turn ads on listings that are already taking off, but you just have to know that it can take 30 to 90 days to begin seeing any type of activity in your shop. So it depends on how patient you are. Lie number 3, just keep posting and you'll eventually get orders. I fell for this one too. I posted a bunch of listings with no direction and got crickets. More listings you would think would equal more sales, but it's only true if what you're putting in your shop is already in high demand. So if what you're adding into your shop are a bunch of flops, you're pretty much just building a graveyard. The turning point was when I quit guessing and I invested in a research tool. You already know, I love Everbee. I finally began to create products that were actually being searched for, and that is when my shops blew up. And if you're getting value from the video so far, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. That way you don't miss any future content that I put out on my channel. Lie number 4, you have to be totally unique to stand out. Nope. And in fact, being too unique can actually hurt your shop. People want to buy something familiar to them, but they just want a better version of it. So you'll want to study the top sellers in your niche. You can do that by looking at the font styles they're using, the layouts, the mock-up, the phrases, and you'll begin to, over time, find patterns. You want to follow the patterns, but you want to remix and not copy. The key here is to take familiar and better, and that will equal what actually sells. Lie number 5, you need to niche down right away or Etsy will not know what to do with your shop. This one holds back so many new shop owners. You do not need to commit to one niche from day one. A better strategy would be to try out 2 to 5 niches in the beginning, because one will usually take off and then you'll know what to double down on. But if you go all in on one niche from day one and it flops, you're going to feel stuck and burned out. I'll give you a couple of examples of different niches that can be within one shop. That would be twin girl mama, fourth grade teacher, dinosaur loving little boy. These are all totally different, but they can all live inside one shop. Let your data lead you and determine how you pivot with your shop and how you grow with your shop. Bonus lie: if your SEO is good, then your product will sell. And that is a huge myth. Now, we all know that your SEO will help you get found, but that mockup is going to be what will get you clicked. If your first image looks boring, low quality, or blends into the crowd, that shopper is going to keep scrolling right past you. That first image is your first impression, and it does matter. I am not a fan of free mockups, and outdated mockups will kill the vibe before your title even gets read. I always recommend using mockups from Creative Fabrica or Etsy, and I do choose them very carefully. I recommend that because they tend to be more on trend, more visually appealing, and they're more in line with what the Etsy customer is used to. So put a little money into it. You can get great bundles for a couple of dollars to have really beautiful mockups that will get the click and get the conversion. Great mockups are the easiest way to stand out, and a lot of shop owners overlook them. I do teach in the group that you want to find other bestsellers in your niche and study what mockups are they using and implement that same strategy. Those mockups already have that popular now badge or that bestseller badge, so they're doing something right. People are clicking on them because that mockup is bringing people in, they're attention grabbing, and all you need is the click to get the order. But if your mockup images are not even click worthy, then you're never going to get the order. Let me know in the comments, what Etsy lie have you fallen for or heard of? And if you want help finding high demand niches, fresh AI image prompts, and strategies that actually work, the link to my private membership is below. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye, everybody.